Welcome to the last 7 days. Today we're going to dive into some exciting news about aerospace. Hey, I'm Brian Spellman.
I'm Andrew Spur.
And I'm Greg Stewart.
Coming up, United Fund Sustainability.
North Korea with disturbing achievements.
A busy week for Bombardier.
Watch out, SpaceX. Blue Origin is on your heels.
Space lasers from CACI.
Superhero braking from Crane.
And the Dassault Accelerator.
You know, when you guys buy airplane tickets, especially if you've bought them on United, you have the option to spend a little bit more money on your ticket for the Sustainable Aviation Fund?
Nope.
I usually say no.
So apparently 115,000 passengers have contributed $500,000 to the fund, which is impressive. I think that people are like, yeah, let's spend more money. But even more impressive is that 22 corporate partners have now helped this fund exceed $200 million. This fund just started in February of 2023, and it remains aviation's first and only venture that is backed by partners who are trying to create advancing feedstock, advancing technology to focus on sustainable aviation fuel. Some of these partners, these 22 partners that are a part of this fund, include Air New Zealand, Embraer, Google, HIS, Natixis, and Safran Corporate Ventures, Technip, and a bunch of others, obviously 22 of them. So I think this is actually kind of cool that we're going to find new ways. We've talked about SAF a bit on the show before, but finding new ways to help make sure we can fly sustainably and maybe cheaperly. We're going to go, that's a new word, cheaperly.
I like it. I mean, here's my biggest thing. As long as United, and this goes for anything that I'm donating to, as long as United can prove that 100% of every donation is going towards the production of this sustainable aviation fuel, I mean, I would easily be willing to add this, depending on how much it was for each ticket, right? It's a way to crowdfund research that the majority of people would be excited about, I would assume, especially if you're traveling quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's two things that kind of spring to mind there. Number one, I agree, is that money, which I do give, I must admit, even though I said no earlier, I do give 500,000. That's a lot of money we've given, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think number one, yeah, the real transparency and of where that money is going. But secondly, that leads beautifully onto our main subject, which is product lifecycle management. And for me, it's like organic food from years ago when that came in and everybody was cynical going, yeah, but when they're crop spraying next door in the fields, you're still getting a bit of it. So it's not truly organic. I think what PLM does is it gives you that real deal transparency, traceability off the back of your innovation, etc. That's true PLM. So it's more than easy to actually trace that back to make sure you're getting truly SAF.
Yeah, so PLM can help give Greg the transparency he needs. Maybe government can start using this too. Speaking of government, so apparently North Korea has made some disturbing advancements in ballistic missile capabilities. They've developed a new ballistic control system for a multiple rocket launcher and controllable shells, promising a qualitative change to the Army's multi-rocket launcher force. So Kim Jong-un, who we all know as the supreme leader of North Korea, has issued stern warning against provocation from South Korea, threatening to put an end to South Korea if they're pushed to the brink. And he announced the deployment of multiple rocket launchers armed with tactical nuclear weapons. So this new ballistic missile threat has sent shockwaves around the globe and has prompted the United States to strengthen the missile defense technologies. Aerojet Rocketdyne is the leading American rocket and missile propulsion manufacturer, are playing a crucial role. They just had a recent test conducted by the Missile Defense Agency, where Aerojet Rocketdyne provided high-fidelity, medium-range ballistic missiles and logistics support. This test is aimed to bolster the U.S. military defense capabilities, and this is the 38th launch by Aerojet Rocketdyne in support of the U.S. missile defense program. So we know that missiles are one of those things where the PLM process is literally has a beginning and a very obvious end when it goes boom. What sort of things does Rocketdyne need to be looking at here?
As long as they look at anything in PLM, that's one step above Kim Jong-un. Let's be honest. I think he's struggling to even afford sticky notes, never mind a product lifecycle management system. But more seriously, doesn't he threaten every day anyway?
He does.
Doesn't he do that every day?
Yeah. It's
Isn't
not
it, I'm
new.
going to take out South Korea every day or something? Yeah. But personally, going back to the more serious matter of Aerojet Rocketdyne, I'd put in place a comprehensive virtual manufacturing environment to respond to him at scale. And that is slightly different to a typical PLM answer. To me, it's all about building up your digital twins, your technology, in-depth analysis and testing, so you can start to really simulate that scale, which is then going to lead into first time right manufacturing. So you can really compete at scale, collaborative platform, data security, all those good things. So get a good PLM in with virtual manufacturing. Way to go. Take him on.
Yeah. Yep. Man, we talked a little bit about simulation the other day in the ocean, right? But I wonder what it would be for blowing stuff up. I feel like that would be a lot of fun. But anyways,
SpaceX. Right here. Blowing stuff up is fun.
That's right. I did. I said it. I don't know if I stand behind it, but we'll see. SpaceX launches 6 prototype missile tracking satellites, providing targeting info for the Missile Defense Agency and Space Development Agency. The launch carried 2 hypersonic and ballistic tracking space sensors satellites for MDA. Northrop Grumman and L3 Harris each built one of those prototype MFOV, medium field of view, missile tracking spacecraft that are designed to track dim targets such as hypersonic glide vehicles as they maneuver in flight, and then also sufficient accuracy to provide targeting data for missile defense systems, which is always an upgrade. But on board are also 4 wide field of view missile tracking satellites built by L3 Harris for the tracking layer of SDA's Tranche 0 constellation, the demonstration phase of the new proliferated warfighter space architecture.
This
it sounds complicated.
It's real cutting edge stuff. It's real precision work. It's leave that whiteboard, sticky notes, and Excels behind manufacturers. And bring on a world-class multi-plant supplier integrated solution. So you got production efficiencies, you got quality, you got compliance, you got materials management into the supply chain, configuration, traceability, etc., etc. In other words, what do we need? We need a good MES-MOM solution connected back into your product lifecycle. Gives you all of that. There you go.
Yep.
Next up, Blue Origin. So a quick quote from Bezos last week. And it wasn't, I made a few billion from Amazon stock, which was also one of his announcements, or someone's announcement. Instead, we just completed our first BE4 engine hot fire test at the historic test stand 4670 in Huntsville. We also continued to test BE4 engines at our Texas facility. The BE4 engines produce 550,000 pounds of thrust and is our most powerful engine yet. So Blue Origin, obviously owned by founder Jeff Bezos, recently shared the exciting footage of a successful hot fire test. The video showcases the engine pumping out an impressive 550,000 pounds of thrust, making a significant milestone for the space flight company.
Wow, 550,000 pounds of thrust. That's going to be a powerhouse of an engine. That is huge. And, I think we're looking here about not just power, but also reliability. And this feels like a pretty significant achievement for Blue Origin, especially because back in last June, there was an explosion that they had a setback from. So this is pretty cool. This is good news.
Exactly. The recent success, it really is a testament to their resilience and commitment to advancing space exploration technology when you think about it.
This engine is not only powering rockets for other companies like ULA, United Launch Alliance, but also the reusable New Glenn rocket from Blue Origin. So this is something that's going to be, shooting things up into space. They come back down, shoot them back up again. It's fascinating.
Yep, huge. Allows them to now compete with SpaceX, who started this whole kind of lower cost first principles approach to things. So the complexity of designing and manufacturing rocket engines, heavily reliant on, of course, the core technologies of CAD, PLM, and MES-MOM.
Yeah, there's a lot of precision required to build something that's going to send us up into space. I mean, we're talking cutting edge technology. So your use of, CAD that you're talking about here, it lets you get all those intricate designs, even the simulation, and making sure that what we're sending up into space can actually survive being in space.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, your MESMOM ensures efficient execution of the manufacturing processes, critical for producing these highly, highly sophisticated engines.
Yeah, this is, I know we say interesting a lot, and now I think our new word of the day is fascinating, but it really is. It's fascinating to think how technologies have advanced to the point where they play such huge roles in exploration of space.
Yep.
And this, anybody born, I don't know, let's just look at what 10 years ago, if we're 10 years ago from today, I think we're thinking that what we're seeing happening in space is still futuristic. So we have some really cool stuff happening here.
Yeah. And I think they're going to connect a lot of this technology now through to the whole NASA Artemis space mission to the moon, which is coming up soon. Next up, let's shift gears and jump into the Bombardier world. It's been a buzzworthy week for them, especially in the skies above the Las Vegas Strip. Would you believe it was the busiest week ever, not for shows or events, but for private jets? Yes, a whopping 882 of them landed, took off. Guess why?
I'm guessing it was a small sports game, right?
Could have been. Could have been.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
That little Super Bowl game played a significant role in that whole sky high traffic side of things.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. The only private jet that mattered was Taylor Swift making a grand entrance and exit in her, was it the Bombardier G6000 ultra long range jet? Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure she had more screen time than any other individual there.
Sure. Yeah. So let's take that aircraft, just land it down in Mississauga, where Bombardier is making headlines. Also, with a state-of-the-art private jet manufacturing facility, they're investing even a staggering $670 million in this project, and it's set to be the most advanced private jet manufacturing facility globally.
I mean, that's impressive, and that's a lot of money going towards that. The technology and the innovation has to be mind-blowing. I mean, how does this tie into the world of CAD, PLM, MESMOM, though?
I wonder where Andrew's going to go with this.
Yeah.
Bombardier is replacing its old facility at Downsview Park with this new complex at Pearson Airport, which is a 770,000 square foot facility, including a massive 650,000 square foot assembly building and a 120,000 test hangar, all meticulously using design using advanced technologies. So if they're smart, they'll have virtually simulated the entire factory and embedded their MOM system to manage the cutting edge facility. That's where I'm going.
Okay. All right. So virtual manufacturing and MOM at the forefront, of course, ensuring that precision in the design and layout of these massive, massive cutting edge facilities. What about PLM? How does that integrate into it all?
Yep. PLM comes into play throughout, of course, the whole life cycle of the private jet, helps managing everything from the initial design phase to testing, ongoing maintenance, and ensuring an overall streamlined process throughout the product life cycle.
Man, impressive on all fronts. I mean, from the bustling skies over Las Vegas and the Super Bowl to the cutting edge manufacturing facility in Mississauga, Bombardier is I don't want to say making waves, but they're making jet streams. That's right.
What's that not super famous person that Taylor Swift is dating? But he actually apparently asked her, like, how's a jet lag? And her response was, jet lag is a state of mind. And my response was, yeah, jet lag is a state of mind if you get to sleep on the way over in your own private plane. But you put me on those normal, I don't have a private jet, so jet lag can kind of suck sometimes. But I'm just not that level yet.
That's true. Well, I'm excited to see how this unfolds. We'll keep a close eye on it this year, I'm sure.
Let's take another journey into the world of CACI International, where groundbreaking developments are taking place in both the space and cyber domains. First off, SpaceX has recently launched 4 Space Development Agency Tranche 0 tracking layer satellites and 2 Missile Defense Agency hypersonic and ballistic missile tracking facilities into low Earth orbit. What's interesting is that all 6 satellites were equipped with laser terminals from CACI and built by L3Harris Technologies. So, Brian, I know you've been keeping and watching them too. What you got?
Well, I think what's cool here, this is a significant 5-year, $198 million contract from the U.S. Army. The contract is aimed at enhancing the Army's cyber capabilities for command control, computers, communications, cyber intelligence, surveillance. I got as many C's as I could in there, and reconnaissance systems.
You got it. They're going to be supporting the U.S. Army Combat Capabilities Development Command's C5ISR Center, working on designing and deploying cyber facilities to protect real-time tactical edge and enterprise systems against emerging digital threats.
I think one interesting thing we're seeing here is, we're not just talking about threats from the terrestrial area here, but we're looking at everything happening for research development for, you mentioned space-based lasers. Space lasers is I've seen that in Star Wars, but having these actually exist is pretty cool. Of course, in this case, we're using space-based lasers for optical communication, but it's still neat that we can even have this as something that's technology that we use. And I think that the demand for space laser communication is actually skyrocketing. And CACI is, of course, rising to this occasion. They're leveraging the technologies that I think were developed in collaboration with NASA.
Yep. This is where we come in. The complexity of designing and manufacturing laser terminals for space applications requires, of course, cutting-edge CAD technology.
Oh yeah, there's such precision required. There's such intricacy required in any of this. It's mind-boggling to think of, actually, of all that you have to do to get these advanced tools, optimal performance. And just when it comes to managing that whole life cycle, you've got to have something great in place to make sure that everything can communicate correctly across all these product life cycles.
And don't forget your MESMOM, of course.
I almost forgot.
I wasn't gonna let that happen, especially in the realm of cyber capabilities and space communication. Sufficient manufacturing processes are crucial, and MESMOM orchestrates all of these processes seamlessly, of course.
Would you say that CACI here is pushing the boundaries of what's possible? Can we use a quote from Star Trek about going where no one's gone before?
I think it's deserved.
Anytime you can use a Star Trek quote is a good time to use a Star Trek quote.
Check this out, guys. Crane A&E is hooking up the D32A Eco with their Mark V brake-by-wire brake control system. It's like the superhero of braking systems, they say, for this eco-friendly aircraft.
I've never thought of brakes as a superhero. So what's the big deal here?
Well, it is if it don't work, and suddenly you got to get them working. Yeah. First off, Crane A&E has been in the game since 1947. They practically pioneered the anti-skid braking system. Fast forward to today, and they're still leading the charge. This Mark V system is like the Swiss Army knife of braking. It monitors brake temperature, does this auto brake thing, and gives the smoothest of landings. And get this, auto brakes mean less workload for the pilot. It's like having a co-pilot who's really good at braking.
So the brakes have their own autopilot?
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Okay.
Exactly. So auto brakes can be set for different levels of deceleration, smoother landings, less stress for the pilots, and added safety in emergencies. Oh, and the Mark V is also ready for the future with emergency landing functions like auto land. It's like they've kind of thought of everything, really. Good job, Crane.
Yeah, that's. I guess we don't need pilots anymore.
If you put autonomous braking on autonomous driving vehicles, I'll be first in line. I'm with you, Andrew. It doesn't take much, but safety first, right?
Here's one for you. Did you hear about the Future Combat Air System, FCAS, an accelerator program completing itself successfully? So the aim of the German accelerator, in conjunction with Dassault Aviation, was to create an ecosystem for small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, and startups to develop dual-use and defense applications for FCAS.
I did. I saw that earlier. I think it's pretty cool how they're bringing in startups to innovate in defense technology. I also think that as a startup, how thrilling would it be to be working with much larger organizations? Some fun partnerships there.
Yeah, good stuff. I love it. I got to say, it's a smart move to tap into these fresh ideas from outside of the traditional defense industry. It brings a whole new perspective to things.
So when you're looking at bringing in multiple companies and looking at these ecosystems and helping with the startups with existing companies, I wonder how they're managing all the tech development, how they're integrating artificial intelligence, sensors, electronic components, everything together. This sounds like a massive undertaking.
Yep. I think the chances are with Dassault Aviation in there, I'd expect that they are leveraging advanced tools like your CADs, your PLM, your simulation, your virtual manufacturing, and of course, your MESMOM solutions for streamlining the process.
Yeah. Are we starting a lab in Denver?
Yep, as well. So, yeah, you got it. 3D lab over there, 3D Experience Lab for startups to come on over to Denver, Colorado.
That's awesome.